Today we're going to do a review of Sonesta Ocean Point Resort in St. Maarten. We stayed here 4 nights in August of 2025 and we stayed in a junior suite. We weren't given a free or reduced stay in exchange for this review, so let's just jump right into it. What was your favorite meal here?
I'm gonna go with the Parmesan chicken with the spinach ravioli also. What was your favorite meal?
So this was sort of a hard question because I thought that the food here was pretty good. I'm gonna go with the salmon from either restaurant, either Portofino or Azul. I thought they were great at each.
Yeah.
Also the creme brulee from Portofino, excellent. And then I'm gonna give an honorary mention to the walk-up pizza place on the family side because surprisingly, it was really great. And I think that's a good option for lunch or like a late night snack. I believe they're open daily from 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. So definitely check that out. What was your favorite pool?
I'm gonna go with the Seascape, wonderful swim up bar, nice view of the ocean. You can see the planes flying in. What was your favorite pool?
I'm gonna go with the Edge pool because it was a little quieter over there for the most part. And there was pretty good pool service over there because the bartender from either Azul or from Bluefin would come out and make sure that we were taken care of. What did you think about the beach?
I loved it. Maho Beach is less than 10 steps away. Then Mullet Bay Beach is about 15 minutes or less to walk. The beaches are beautiful, white sand, blue waters. What do you think about the beach?
I really liked the beach here. So you're right on the famous Maho Beach, and that's where you're going to see all of the planes landing. So you can get the famous plane shot where you have your hands up in the air and the big plane is coming right over your head. So the downside would be that it's a public beach, and that means that the resort doesn't have any chairs or umbrellas for your use. So you can rent chairs and umbrellas from a vendor. It's gonna run you about $20 or $30 for a couple. So it's definitely possible to go and sit down on the beach, but just know that it is a little crowded because it is so popular. We still really liked it. The beach itself is beautiful. It's not huge. If you're looking for a beach that you can walk for miles, this is not it. I would estimate that maybe it's about a quarter mile long or so, but really, really pretty. And then, like Kev said, there's Mullet Bay Beach, which is basically right behind the resort. So when we walked there, it took us 8 minutes, and it was about 9 or 10 minutes coming back. So not a long walk. It would actually be shorter if we could cut out the back gate, which we can't.
Cut straight through, but they said no.
There's a security gate,
we checked,
and they said no. But there's a golf, so it's right behind the resort. So you can see it from the resort, but there's a golf course that's separating it and they won't let you walk out that way. So basically you just go out the front doors and you walk around, and it's very easy to get there. It's a gorgeous beach. It's going to be the same thing where you're going to buy your beach chairs and your umbrellas. Of course, on either beach, if you don't want to, if you just want to go out and throw your towel down, that's perfectly acceptable. You don't have to buy beach chairs. But out of the two, out of Maho and Mullet Bay Beach, I highly recommend Mullet Bay Beach. It was absolutely stunning. How did you like the room? Once again, we had a junior suite, and that's going to be the entry level room.
I mean, I liked it. Great view. You can see the planes landing, the ocean. What do you think about the room?
So I thought it was really nice. I thought it was spacious. I loved that you could see the planes landing. I mean, you felt like you could put your hand out and touch them. And it wasn't too loud. I know a lot of people are concerned about how loud it's going to be. I would say that the little planes probably start at 7 a.m. and ends maybe around 8 p.m. The big boys, as I call them, that's gonna be your United, JetBlue, Air France, those big planes, those mainly come in the afternoon, basically from like 11 a.m. until like 4 p.m. So they're not coming when you're trying to sleep. But the room itself was good. The air conditioning worked well. They cleaned the room great. My biggest complaint was that the bed wasn't very comfortable. However, we asked for a mattress pad like the next morning and they brought it immediately and then it was better. What was your favorite drink?
I'm gonna go with the St Maarten beer. It was good, like a malty-ish flavor. Got on the beach. There's the only place I could find it, really. What was your favorite drink?
So I'm gonna go with the frozen mudslides. I had a few of those and they were super tasty here. What would you change about the resort?
I'm gonna say the timing of the restaurants was sometimes a little hard to follow. For instance, the snacks only happened for a 2-hour period.
I'm gonna say that we need a better greeting upon arrival. So this was the first resort I've ever stayed at where when you got out of the car, there was no one there to greet you, say hello, offer you a cold towel, take your bags, direct you to where you're going. So here it's a little bit different because it's like a resort within a resort. So when you get dropped off here, you're going to be dropped off at the family resort. And then you're going to be shuttled via golf cart over to the adult check-in lobby. So when we were dropped off, there was no one outside of the family resort. There was 2 taxi drivers and that was it. So we stood there for maybe 45 or 60 seconds waiting for a bellhop to come and direct us to where we were supposed to be going. Well, no one ever came. So I knew that there's a little section for Ocean Point guests. So I went over to that little roped off area and
It's tiny.
we waited there for a second, and then a security guard, I saw her off to the side, so I walked up and I said, "Hi, we're checking in." And she was like, "Okay," and she radioed over to someone else. And then, you know, they immediately came, they took us, and when we got to our lobby, they were very, you know, friendly. When we got inside, they offered us a drink. But at either lobby, there was never a bellhop to come out and sort of direct you. It was just security. I think that needs to be changed because if you've never been here before, or really if you've never been to a resort before, you might not really know what to do, especially if like we knew that we were not at the family side, so it's like, what do you do? So I think they definitely need to make a change and have someone there to greet you.
Yeah.
Okay, a snack option on the adult side. So kind of what Kevin was saying was that there is a restaurant, Bluefin, and they have snacks every other day from 3:30 to 5:30. And then on alternating days, I believe they set up a grill over by the Point pool. It would just be really nice to have the same snack available every day of the week and for more extended times. For only a 2-hour time period is very short. And I can tell you from being here and seeing some of the guests, they need snacks because a lot of people don't eat lunch. So they're having breakfast and then they're waiting until 3:30. Like people are lining up for these snacks. Like they're like banging the door down for 3:30 to happen. In my opinion, there should be like a snack bar available from like 12:30 to 5:30, something super grab and go, hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken fingers, tacos, nachos, whatever. It doesn't have to be a wide menu, but just something that if you don't want to get dressed and you just want to walk up and grab something, that's available to you. Now what we did today was we had pizza, so we walked over to the little family section and grabbed some pizza, and that was perfect. I would love to see something like that on the adult side. That way if you want to be not ever on the family side, you don't have to be. I also would love to see some in-room snacks. There is a mini bar with water, beer, and soda, but no food in the room at all, and I'm a snack lover. So I would love just like some, little bags of chips or peanuts or something like that. I think that would be a good addition. I would love to see entertainment added. There is zero to do here during the day. There is occasionally a DJ at the pool, and then there is some live music at night. On the adult side, it's typically in the restaurant, so just like a guitar player or a saxophone player, just something, very mellow. And then on the family side, there's entertainment all day. But again, if you're on the adult side, you probably don't want to go onto the family side. I'm not asking for entertainment every hour, but there is currently nothing. So I would love, even if they just added 2 or 3 options, you know, bingo, a cooking class, a drink making class, macrame, painting, just something so you can offer your guests something if they would like to do it. I think that would be a really good addition. And then I already touched on this at all before, but the timing of the restaurants. It could be a little confusing because restaurants rotate and then you have the special hours. And as a guest who's on vacation, you don't necessarily want to have to know what day it is all the time. I'm totally fine with restaurants rotating, but when they're rotating and the times are different, it gets a little confusing. So for instance, the Bluefin restaurant, they have snacks from 3:30 to 5:30 and the bar is open till 6. So it doesn't really, but then the sunset during our time was at 6:45. So you couldn't go to that bar and have a drink and watch the sunset. Same with the Sunset Bar. The Sunset Bar didn't open up until 8 p.m. And we're like, hey, how are we supposed to watch the sunset at the Sunset Bar if it doesn't open up until the evening? So there were just like some things that I feel like need to be fine-tuned or just better addressed at check-ins so you have a better understanding of the times of things. What was your favorite bar?
I'm gonna go with Bluefin. If you look to your left, you could see the nice sunset right there. Wonderful view. What was your favorite bar?
I'm gonna do the same because even though the hours were a little screwy,
yeah, you can still go up there, but
they did have a gorgeous view.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about the resort overall?
I'm gonna say the vibe. I love the clear beach, both beaches if you walk to them. Many pools to choose from, and the food was very good. All the restaurants were very good. What was your favorite thing about the resort?
So the proximity to the resort was wonderful. It's 5 minutes from the airport, so you can get your vacation started immediately. We were here within 15 minutes. So from deplaning, going through immigration, customs, getting in a taxi and walking onto the property, 15 minutes. I mean, there's not very many places that you can do that. And I loved the plane watching. I just said at dinner tonight that I'm going to miss just sitting down and just watching the planes come and go. It was really nice. The beach was absolutely gorgeous. It was just crystal clear water and it was stunning. I loved they did scented towels for lunch and dinner at the restaurants, and I thought that was such a nice touch. And the scent changed with each meal and each day. So when they brought you a cold towel, they would say, so tonight was vanilla. So for each meal, they'll give you a towel and they'll say, okay, you know, it's lavender, eucalyptus, whatever it is. And I thought that was a really nice touch. And like Kev said, the food was really good. And I loved how the menus changed daily for lunch and dinner at Azul, so you could never get bored. And Azul's basically like the signature restaurant. It's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. So if you wanted to never go on to the family side, you could eat there all 3 meals for your whole time. And since the restaurant menus change, you'd be totally fine. You wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm going back to Azul again. We loved going to Azul. What would you rate the resort from a 1 to a 10, 10 being the best?
I'm gonna go with the 8.3. What would you rate your resort?
8.2. Would you come back?
I would, yes. Yes.
I would also come back. And part of that is that there's not that many resorts here, but I definitely do want to come back to St. Maarten. So I would come back. We liked it here a lot. Do you have anything extra you would like to add?
I'm gonna say the barista at the coffee shop was very fast and efficient. Never had somebody so quick. Obviously you were sleeping or relaxing, you never saw that, but
I never go to the coffee shop.
The fastest one I feel I've ever seen. The only thing is all the activities are on the, Brittany picked up on that, were on the family side. Put some more activities on the adult side. Let us do something over here. I think that's about it. What was your extras?
So I would say that it's an interesting resort setup. And I don't know the history of this resort. I don't know if it was always split in 2. I have a feeling that it was one resort at one point and then they made a little adult section, because we have done resorts where there's an adult section, you know, like a resort within a resort. However, there's very clear boundaries about where the adult side is and where the family side is. Here it's interesting because basically where the family resort is, they have like no restaurants over there. So the restaurants are kind of on what I would designate as our side. So I want to be clear that there's no kids ever coming onto our property. Security, I've actually never seen so many security guards as they have working here.
Like 6 a day.
Oh, more than 6. I mean, there's security guards everywhere. Like, you cannot, if you don't have the right wristband on, you aren't coming in here. And there's also, you need to scan your wristband at some entry points in order to get in and get out. So I want to be clear that the kids never could come on to the adult side. I just was not expecting the setup to be the way that it was. So as an example, you check in right here and the family buffet is right here. So our first day I walked out of the lobby and we were going to go to lunch and I'm like, ooh, there's a baby. Like, you know, and so it's just an interesting setup. I would say that the adult, we're kind of more above. So like we're above and then there's family restaurants below. It didn't hinder our experience at all. It just took some getting used to, because like I said, we're used to a very like clear cut, like you don't go over here. Whereas this is kind of more a little commingled. So I just have a feeling that the adult side was like an add-on or like an afterthought is what I'm thinking. It's very quiet, like I said earlier, so you need to be okay with just relaxing. Now maybe in the future that's going to change, maybe they'll add in some different entertainment, but right now
maybe they'll see this video.
Maybe, but right now it's chill. There's nothing going on. So I would say there's like 2 camps of people here. There's people that love the chill and they're just reading a book and just like having some champagne and hanging out. And then there's people that are just, you know, drinking and they're just making friends and they don't really need entertainment because they're just making friends with other people. But if you want activities all day and all night, this is not the place. You're going to be bored to tears. So I would just keep that in mind to make sure that if this is going to be the right resort for you. And if you like the casino, there's a pretty big casino right across the street that's you know, a part of this resort. So if you do like to gamble, I would go and, you know, check that out. That might be what you would do in lieu of evening entertainment. Lots of cats here, so it's hard to keep track because, you know, they're like on the go, but I would say there's at least 8 cats. So if you don't like animals, I would keep that in mind. However, they're not, you have to call them to you. They're not going to come up to you, they're not jumping on you, it's nothing like that. But they are around, so if you're afraid of them, just keep that in mind. I know that some resorts have more animals than others, and I would say that this does have a decent amount of animals. Now, if you are a baby cat lover like I am, definitely bring some cat treats with you because they love them. And right outside the resort, there is a kitten adoption and like cat rescue center. And they were telling me that they keep the cats healthy. So every 3 months they go to the vet and they're all up to date on their shots and everything like that. So I thought that was really nice to know that the cats are cared for and that they're trying to rehome the cats and they're trying to rehome the kittens. You can go, I don't know how long if this kitten center will be up forever, but right now it's open, I think, from 11 to 2 every day, and then in the evening, I think it might be like 6 to 9 p.m. And you can go in, you can play with the cats, you can pick them up, you can adopt them. They have all sorts of paperwork of how easy it is to fly home with cats and how much it is on your airline. I think on our airline it was like $100 or something for a pet fee or something like that. But so just be mindful that if you are afraid of cats or whatever, that maybe you don't want to pick this resort. But overall, I really liked it. I thought that this was a really great resort.
I'd like to be back.
Yeah, we would definitely come back. And the price point's good. I would say for the entry level room, we paid around $500 a night, and I think for the Caribbean. That's very good for what we got, for the food, for everything. I thought it was a good resort. If you're interested in booking this resort with a travel agent, I would love to help you. My name is Brittany. I only sell Mexico and the Caribbean, so I can be an expert in those destinations. And I would love to talk to you and see if this resort would be the right one for you. You can reach out to me on my website, memoriesandmojitos.com. You'll submit a quote request and we can go from there. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop them down below in this video. Please do not email me. I apologize, but I will not respond to emails. I only talk to my clients via email. You wouldn't believe how many people email me. So I know that there are some people that are disappointed when I don't write them back, but just imagine you're at work and just random people are just emailing you all day long. Just imagine. So I would love to get you booked. And if you didn't see our resort vlog, we filmed 3 of our nights from sun up to sundown, so you can kind of maybe go watch that and see if it'd be the right resort for you. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in another video really soon. What we have coming up next is we're going to TRS Coral in Cancun, Mexico. So if you're new, we'd love to have you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks, guys.